I want to welcome everybody to Rap and Dough, the home of money conversations. I'm your host, Don Bucks, and I promise to give you all the game, not some of the game. So today, I got a special guest that's going to pull up on me today. Goes by the name of Briana, aka the Thorough VA, not the mediocre VA, but the Thorough VA. So she's going to pull up on us today and give us some virtual assistant game. All right, so I'm about to tap her in right now. So welcome, Briana, aka the Thorough VA, not the mediocre VA, but the Thorough VA.
Yes, yes.
You feel me? How we doing today, Miss?
Good, good.
Busy day, you
Busy
said, huh?
day, but that's pretty typical, I would say, for me at
Hmm.
least. That's a pretty typical day. It's a busy day. I'm from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, work, work, work.
Hey, listen.
So,
So for the people who don't know what you do, like, who are you? Where you from? What do you do?
okay, so I am Briana Colman. I am from Westchester County in New York. I
Mm.
currently live in South Carolina. I own a virtual assistant and social media management company. Um, and I basically help business owners, especially those who it seems to be this is kind of who's drawn to me, but those who have like courses or like ebooks, they sell some type of product online. And I
Okay.
basically help them with their day-to-day tasks that they have to do within their business. So everything from administrative tasks to scheduling posts to interacting on their social medias, calendar management, um, making sure that meetings are getting scheduled the way they should be, that research is being done for maybe projects that they have going on. So it's really a wide range of
Wow.
things,
Yeah.
that I do on a consistent basis for business owners. So yeah.
Wow. So wait a minute. What made you get into that? Like out of all things, like how'd you come across that skill set?
So, I've always kind of done since I was younger. I've always kind of done, like little things like going with my mom to work to help file or things like that. So, I
Mm.
always kind of enjoyed being in an office setting a little bit. And then, what basically happened is I got in contact with Annalisa Abel. She goes by just Annalisa on Instagram.
Shout out to her.
And so she actually came out with a course earlier this year about how to start a virtual assistant business because she had started her own virtual assistant business. She was like, oh, there's definitely business owners and money out here to be made. So definitely go ahead, try to jump into
Mm.
it, basically. I took her course and I basically just took the information that I already had from my previous jobs and said, I'm just going to apply it to helping business owners, So I have a background in, I've worked in HR. I worked as a substance abuse counselor. I worked for the state. So I've done, tons of different jobs. And I basically just take all of those skills and just kind of apply
Mhm.
them to what I do now. So that's really why I kind of got started in being a virtual assistant. It really was supposed to be a side hustle. And I mean, at this point, I've replaced my income. So I no longer work a 9 to 5. I only do virtual
Oh, that's
assisting
right.
all day. So
Ooh, talk heavy. Hey,
yeah.
yo, so courses. This is the ongoing theme here. And I was just talking about this the other day. You got people that frown on courses, but you got people that actually take these courses. I think those be the people that actually buy a course and don't actually finish it. Because somebody was talking about this on Instagram the other day, how somebody hopped in his comments talking about his material, but he's able to see the completion of his students. This student only completed 2% of the course. So I mean, people that are actually taking these courses and executing are leveling up in
Oh
2021. So
yeah,
that is dope.
definitely. Yeah. It's
And
definitely
on
been
top of that,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that, like, I'm not gonna lie, like before I took this course, there were plenty of courses that I bought and I didn't necessarily like dig as deep into it that I should have. But I think going into this course, I just knew that this was something that could potentially change my life. So I think I took it much more serious when I took the course, because I knew that if I take this course and apply the information, why not just see what can happen, basically.
Right.
Like if I really took the time to really put all my effort into something, what could really come of this, you know?
Right.
And I think obviously I've been able to show that when you do take a course and apply the information, it can definitely pay off for you.
That's a fact.
So yeah, I mean, people definitely do that though. I see that all the time, even with my clients. They'll have people complain about, you know, the content and stuff like that. And it's like, you've only watched a small percentage of the information. And then if you're not applying that information, then, you know, it's not going to work. You know, even when I took this course, like I could, if I wanted to be, I mean, and I still have other dreams, you know, for, you know, my virtual assistant business and growing it and things like that. But
yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Oh yeah, but you know, even like I could not have went into this and thought, okay, let me start this business. I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to put in the work. I'm not going to try to learn new systems. Like I would not be where I am right now, you know, because you have to put in the work. Like, yes, you took a course, but you still have to put in the work. Like it is still work outside of the course.
Yeah, people will be like, the gym don't work. Wait a minute, oh, you gotta work out first. What you mean the gym don't work?
Right. You know, you have to put in the work in order to really get, you know, and I think that a lot of people, I think people have this perception that they're just like supposed to be able to like get it. Like it's just supposed to be, everything is supposed to be easy. And it's far from easy.
I don't know.
It's far from easy. It's far from easy. Like I love what I do, but I'm not going to tell you that there are not some days that I'm like, and I know other business owners feel like this, but they're like, just throw the whole business away. Like just forget it. I mean, you get frustrated. It happens, you know, but you know, at the same time, you got to put in the work. You got to really focus, you know, on what you're doing. So, yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the Breadwinner Society. See, during the pandemic of 2020, a lot of us became entrepreneurs and stock market investors. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of us are out here trying to do it on our own and be on an island. And that can be super frustrating. So what I did was I decided to create a community of like minds that can come together and discuss business ideas, investing ideas, trading ideas, pretty much more than your money's worth. So somewhere in the description, there's a link. Go ahead and click that link and come build a society.
Nah, what I think is dope is, and this is another ongoing theme, how you took those skill sets that you already were kind of like familiar with and turned it into a business. Like, this is what I say over and over again. Like, we have skill sets. Everyone has a skill set that's a potential business. And it's dope that you've seen that all right, you know what? Wait a minute. I'll do stuff like that, virtual assistant, because, you know, we have a new batch of business owners nowadays that need people with your skill set.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it definitely changes the dynamic of, I mean, 2020 really changed the dynamic of everything, you know. So many businesses, like for one, a lot of people started businesses and then a lot of people went the direction of going virtual. So, you know, I guess it just kind of, you know, I kind of came at a good time, you know, her course came at a good time and everything of getting everything started and catapulted. But yeah, I mean, there are I tell people all the time, like even within Annalisa's course, she has like a Slack group that everybody is in. And I tell people in that course all the time, there are business owners out here. Like I know you see you may see other people, signing on to business owners and things like that and getting clients. But like, I promise you, there are so many business owners out here. I have so many business owners out here.
People complain that they ain't got no work.
Not that they don't have any work, but maybe they're in the beginning of starting their business. So they're trying to figure out like where to find clients and things like that. And they may see other people get clients and they're like, oh my gosh, there's going to be no clients out there. But it's like, no, there are people out there. Like people need this stuff. So I promise you there's somebody out there.
That leads to my next question, because I was going to say, where do you think the virtual assistant arena is going from here? Because I think we're in the infancy stages of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I definitely think so in terms of like people based in the United States, for sure. I think when I first heard about virtual assisting, a lot of it was people based out of the United States. So maybe they were based in the Philippines or like Sri Lanka or some place that maybe, you may hear somebody saying, oh, I pay my VA $5 an hour. Well, US-based VAs are not, I'm telling you, we are not charging people $5 an hour.
I'm sure.
So I think it's definitely in its beginning, but I think that you will start to find more virtual assistants who are focused and honed into a particular area within virtual assisting, because virtual assisting can seem like a very like general type of thing that you can do. So you can work in like multiple industries and things like that. But I do think we're going to start to see like more VAs who are like specialized in specific areas of industry. So maybe their specific focus is like maybe their specific their focus is creating like e-courses or e-books, or like that is their main thing. They know about like launching those things. They know all of the background that comes of it. And even within the last year, I've seen a lot of people go from being virtual assistants to becoming like maybe they've done it for a couple of years or whatever the case may be, and now they're like business strategists. And so there's definitely a lot of direction that kind of can go, but I think we're definitely going to see more virtual assistants or executive, like virtual executive assistants, because everything is going virtual. I mean, a lot of stuff is going virtual. So I think all the people who are already doing it right now, they have an advantage, because I know it was a big transition for the people who maybe, at their job last year, they worked in the office and then they had to transition to virtual. Well, I mean, that's a skill that most people don't realize to even have, to be able to make that transition from being in an office to working from home. Because as people, as things change, and obviously the panorama is not going anywhere. So,
right.
So, as things change, I think it's definitely going to grow.
Word. So how do you recommend someone who may be interested in becoming a virtual assistant? Do you have like a course, or do you recommend a course?
Yeah, so I actually would recommend, to be honest, I would recommend Annalisa's course. And that's just because she adds to the course, right? So like when I first took the course, I was literally one of the first people to take her course, right? So she did her course live. And then, obviously with that live recording that she did, she, went on to sell that live recording, as her course. But since since I have taken her course, it has went from being 3 videos to I believe there are 11 videos in this course now. So
Wow.
she's definitely expanded it a lot to kind of make sure that she's touching on all of the areas and the things that people may need, from starting your virtual assistant business to creating your virtual assistant portfolio to she may have people come in that are in different industries. So, somebody who maybe does real estate virtual assisting, somebody who does like medical virtual assisting. So just trying to, expose people to a lot of different areas and make sure that their business is set up properly. So that would definitely be the course that I would recommend.
Annalisa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about your catalog. I'm looking here at your link tree. I actually bought your course last night.
Yeah.
Which one did I buy? I bought the Before You Hire a VA.
Yeah. So that's actually my
I think
course.
I got that.
Yeah, so that's actually my course. I just wanted to put something together basically for business owners who just, because a lot of times I was having consultations with people who were kind of like on the fence of whether or not they needed a virtual assistant yet or not.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
Because I think that that's a big decision for business owners. Like I literally just got off the phone with somebody about that. It's a big decision. Adding somebody to your team it's a step. It can be really nerve-wracking sometimes to a lot of business owners. So it basically just kind of gives you an idea of the things that you need to have in place, what you need to consider before you hire a virtual assistant. So things like, do you have systems in place? Like, do you have, like I always tell people, and this may be counterproductive to me being a virtual assistant, right? But I think it's only fair for me to say that if you do not have any systems or automations within your business, you probably don't need a virtual assistant yet. You probably need to get those systems and automations in place first to see where you're really needing the help. Right? Because it's difficult for somebody to help you if you don't really know what you need help with. Right. So like if you have the systems in place, if you have the, you have all the automations in place, then when you bring on a virtual assistant, your virtual assistant is basically going to help you make sure that your systems and your automations keep flowing. Right. Mm-hmm. In addition to doing the things that maybe do take time and you can't automate. So it would be difficult to automate answering your emails. That's something that you probably can't automate, right? So you need to, somebody has to take time to actually do that. That's something that you could delegate to a virtual assistant. But if you have your virtual assistant, like, trying to think of an example. So say you have a graphic designer, they make all of your content, right? You may not need a virtual assistant to schedule that content for you. You really probably could just utilize a social media scheduler. Now, if you feel like it's taking too much time for you to do that, then of course, hire out, find somebody to help you do that. But if you feel like if I put this automation in place, it will free up some more of my time, then you should really do that first and then look at getting a virtual assistant. Because it makes, and I talk about this in the course, but it makes your life, it makes both people's lives easier. It makes my life as a virtual assistant easier, and it makes your life easier because okay, these are the things that I have already set up. This is how they should work. This is how they should function. And that way the virtual assistant is very clear on what she needs to do or he or she needs to do. And you're very clear on what you need. So, yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the Breadwinner Society. See, during the pandemic of 2020, a lot of us became entrepreneurs and stock market investors. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of us are out here trying to do it on our own and be on an island. And that can be super frustrating. So what I did was I decided to create a community of like minds that can come together and discuss business ideas, investing ideas, trading ideas. Pretty much more than your money's worth. So somewhere in the description, there's a link. Go ahead and click that link and come build a society.
Yeah.
So you have that. You also have systems playbook. You have
So
you have
the systems,
several things in there.
Yeah, so I have a couple things on there, a couple of things that I am just, make a little extra money as an affiliate, things that I've taken.
Be modest. Be modest, huh?
But the things that I've taken that I would stand by and just feel like some people should utilize. So the systems playbook is great. She's actually a systems VA. She wrote a book about basically how to set up your service-based business to better function and making sure that you have all the systems in place for that. So she recommends a lot of different platforms or things that you can use to help systemize your business. So for instance, if your business has a lot of meetings or anything like that, like using Calendly or using a scheduling tool to help you with scheduling that, because then you don't have to worry about sending out like Zoom links. You don't have to worry about emailing it. You set up, you just make sure your calendar matches that scheduling application, and they could just book whatever time kind of fits with their schedule and your schedule, and it will send them, the information. So it removes you from the process a little bit. Like I said, just that idea of just putting systems and automations into place to help you save some of your time.
But you know what, Bree, this can be overwhelming to a beginner. Because we talking automations, because this is our link. Like we speak this, it's like, all the automations, when you're talking automations, you're talking about your emails, you're talking about your text messaging, you're talking about all of these things. So basically what you're saying is people need to have this stuff in place first before considering a VA.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that I definitely think that it's something that they should consider. I always, every time I talk to people, no matter whether it gets me the client or not, I always tell people things that I think that they could implement in their business that does not necessarily even involve having me in it. Right. So if I talk to somebody and they say, well, I'm just having issues, like all of my, like, I just have issues with scheduling everything. I can never figure out getting it into my schedule. Well, I'm going to suggest a scheduling tool for you to use, like Calendly or Acuity Scheduling or Squarespace, where that you could, use that to schedule appointments and things like that. Or, if you feel like, oh my gosh, post, like I can create the content, but scheduling it and getting it out, it just seems really overwhelming. Well, I'm going to recommend for you to get a social media scheduler. So things that, can kind of help you automate some of that stuff. And it definitely can be overwhelming. And that is something that I have definitely noticed within the past year. So that's kind of a direction that I'm wanting to go into as well. In the expansion of my business, it's kind of helping, even before you get to the point of needing that virtual assistant, getting all of those things in place first. Hey, let me look at your business, see what you need, what may be helpful to you, and then kind of going from there to figure out if a virtual assistant is the direction you go, or if putting more automations and systems in place is the way you go. So
that's dope.
Yeah.
So how does that correlate or relate to, I think I got to that part in your course where you was talking about SOPs. Are they related?
Yes, definitely. So, so when you when you create systems or put automations into place, you tend to do the same steps over and over and over again, right? Especially when you're doing automations and things like that. When you are going to bring somebody on into your business, it is much easier if you already kind of have an idea of what the process should look like. So basically what an SOP basically is, it's either, SOPs can be videos, and they can be written. I recommend in the beginning, when you're first making your SOPs, literally use a free application like Loom and screen record yourself going through that whole process. So that way somebody could basically say, you could literally, when you bring on your VA, you could say, okay, I have all these videos that have all of the processes of how to do things. If you could just put this in, take this from video to words, basically, that would basically create your SOP. So, it's really the backbone of what your process is. Because if you understand what you are doing, then you can understand things that you can eliminate. You can understand things that maybe you need to do more within. So say, for instance, you're creating an SOP for something like, I'm trying to think of a good one.
For the layman, SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure.
Yes, Standard Operating Procedure. Sorry. I know. Yeah. So when you put in these standard operating procedures, creating things like it basically is the flow of how something goes. If you see that maybe you're spending more time doing something within that process, that you think to yourself, well, I do this because maybe it's easier for me to do, but it really wastes time, then maybe it's time to eliminate that little piece that you're doing that maybe you don't really need to do, right? Like, if even simple things like, this is a great one. Simple things like, if you are on social media and you get the same frequently asked questions over and over and over again, right? Instead of every time somebody sends you that frequently asked question, write all the frequently asked questions out, get all the answers, put them together. And then basically, like in Instagram, they have saved replies in there. When somebody asks that question, send them the saved reply rather than having to type out that answer over and over and over again. Now you've kind of killed two birds with one stone, because you now have a list of all of your frequently asked questions. And then you also have the saved replies that are in there, so you can speed up the process of answering those questions. Because nobody likes answering the same questions over and over and over again. That
was VA bars.
As exciting as it may be for people to be reaching out to you, when you get to a certain, and I hate to put it this way, but like when you get to a certain level, I feel like you answering those same questions over and over and over again, it becomes more of a nuisance. It feels more like, I just answered this question, and people don't necessarily know that other people are asking that question, so you can't really blame them. The only thing you can do is just basically say, how can I better answer these people's questions? So even from there, it's thinking of a strategy of, okay, you're getting the same questions over and over and over again. Well, maybe you need to create a video about it. Maybe, all of these things help formulate different ideas that you can have to help kind of push your business to the next level, right? So you can create a video with all of the SOPs on it. I have a client who literally created a frequently asked question freebie. It's literally a freebie. You literally sign up for it. Frequently asked questions.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, it's a great idea though, because I've seen other people do it. just using that information to basically kind of help catapult your business. But I think having those standard operating procedures, especially when you're going to bring somebody else on, is helpful, because if you bring somebody on and they don't know your business, right? You are going to have to teach them your business. They may be knowledgeable in what your business is about, but every business is different. So no business is going to be the same. They have to know how you do things. How do you say this? How do you, what is your time frame for answering emails? Like, some people say, okay, all emails have to be answered within 48 hours, but some people say 24 hours. Some people say 6 hours. Having all of that standard in there, then you'll also know if your virtual assistant is reaching those standards as well. So if they are answering those emails within 6 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours, or, whatever your standards are, then every time you bring somebody in, no matter what, they're going to be at they're going to be held to those expectations. They're going to know, this is what my expectations are. And then they're also going to be able to have something that they can refer back to if they have any questions or are curious about something, so they don't have to ask you a million times either. Well, what do you do in this situation? Well, what do you do in that situation? Well, if you have all of that mapped out already, that's something that you can say, well, hey, check out the SOP for this. It kind of has a little bit of a breakdown of what this is. So that way, you kind of avoid, it's not, you still have to do some form of training when you bring somebody on, but it helps with how cumbersome training can feel when you have those things in place, when okay, I can outline all of this stuff and tell them, hey, make sure you look at all of the SOPs, make sure you look at all of the processes, and, know everything. So, yeah.
Deep. So,
yeah.
As far as your expansion, you alluded to it earlier. Like, what are some of the things that you got coming down the pike as far as your expansion, the stuff that you can share?
Yeah, so I am actually building out a team. So it's not just going to be me. I already have one person on my team so far that kind of helps me out, but I am building out an entire, I'm not afraid to say it, I'm building out an entire VA agency. So
that's right.
Yeah, so basically, I will work with certain clients, or, maybe the clients that I brought in personally, but, going forward and things like that, I will have, people on my team who basically will work directly with that virtual assistant. I will almost kind of be like the VA plug a little bit.
Right.
I will kind of find, rather than you searching to find the right VA for you, I will do the searching for you, basically,
amongst your team.
Right, and connect you to the virtual assistant, who will thus be somebody who's on my team, or somebody that I will basically contract out to do the work. I mean, I become the middleman.
That's fire. I like it. I like it. So, okay, so before I guess we get out of here, how can people access you or your services or your courses? Like, you have a website or?
Yeah, so you can find me at TheThoroughVa, which is TheThorougHBA. And all of my information is on there. I just put my link tree back up because I am changing my website. So I still wanted people to be able to access me and like book a consultation and stuff like that. So I did put my link tree back up. Hopefully by the beginning of the year, I will have my website up. And yeah, so in my link tree, you can book I still, which may be changing, so get them in now. But I still do free consultations right now. I am being encouraged to not do free consultations anymore. But so you can do a free consultation right now through my link tree, as well as you can find my course there, as well as you can find, if you are interested in becoming a virtual assistant, you can also find Annalise's course in my link tree as well. And if you are interested in getting the course, go ahead and send me a DM and let me know that you're going to get the course, and I will give you a code that you can use to get a discount.
Ooh, discount code. Well, listen, Bri,
yes,
I appreciate
everybody loves
you.
A discount.
Yeah, we like discounts.
Yeah,
it's
so
Christmas
that's
time too.
You can find me. You said what?
Definitely appreciate you pulling. I said, everybody, it's Christmas time. It's Christmas time.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely.
We all for the coupons. You feel me? But
definitely.
I appreciate you for pulling up on Rap and Dough today.
Oh yeah.
I definitely want to have you back so you can give us some updates on your expansion. So in the near future, you got to pull back up on it.
Yes, definitely. It's definitely coming within the next couple of months. Like, I already have like a game plan kind of put out to kind of get to that point. So give me like a little couple of months to make all the transitions that I need to make, and it's gonna happen.
Say less.
Putting it in the air. Definitely.
All right, Bri, I appreciate you.
All right. Yes, I appreciate you. Have a good one.